Chat Sports, it's your favorite LSU analyst, Carter the Power. It's the early signing period, and how about them Tigers, baby? Marcus Dumervil, Phillip, Webb, two huge pickups today as we kick off the early signing period. We're going to break down the good news, but there was also bad news today as five-star wide receiver Rakim Jarrett, who has been committed to LSU for the longest, flipped to Maryland. Yes, he is the Washington, D.C. Gatorade Player of the Year. And for those that don't know, the high school he went to, St. John's, is basically D.C. He's basically staying home. And honestly, it is a huge loss for LSU. Anytime you lose a five-star receiver, it's a big deal. However, he's going to Maryland. He's not going to Alabama, where there were some rumors, and you're not going to have to face him. Maryland's not going to a college football playoff. Maryland's not on the schedule anytime soon. So if there is good news from this, he's going to a school that is practically going nowhere as far as the national title conversation is concerned. Also, LSU has a few more four-star wide receivers in this class that you should be excited about. And let's be honest, do you really want a kid that's not going to go to LSU after seeing what the offense has done? Yes, you had Joe Brady, the first ever wide receiver coach to win the Frank Broyles Assistant Coach of the Year award. Who doesn't want to play for Joe Brady? And you go to Maryland? I understand Mike Locksley is an offensive genius or whatever. But still, Rakim Jarrett, he will not be a Tiger. But look at the other young LSU wide receivers. Jamar Chase is coming back. Terrace Marshall's coming back. I think Devontae Lee's going to be a stud. How about LSU's other options? I think they're going to be fantastic, okay? Racey McMath, he had a big year. So, big news today. Jarrett's gone, as is four-star safety Malcolm Green. But it was known that he was probably going to flip to Clemson. He does just that. And the Clemson Tigers, which looks as if they're going to have the number one overall class, gets a really good ball-hawking safety. Bad news for LSU, but it was expected. Now on to five-star defensive end Jordan BURCH. A lot of 247 crystal ball projections. Even ESPN was also projecting BURCH potentially going to LSU. He instead decides to stay at home with South Carolina, a lot like Rakim Jarrett. Remember, Jordan BURCH, his high school quarterback, was Will Muschamp's son. So, yes, you lose Jordan BURCH. He's a 6'5" defensive end prospect. His tape includes him playing running back, includes him being a jump ball wide receiver, a kickoff returner. But honestly, he's going to South Carolina. Kind of the same thing with Rakim Jarrett. South Carolina's not a team that LSU plays every year. I know they play them next year, but that's it. Who even expects South Carolina to come even close to a college football playoff or an SEC championship game? So outside of next year, you don't have to worry about Jordan BURCH. He didn't go to Alabama. He didn't go to Georgia. So yes, it is another big loss, but A, he wasn't committed. B, he's going to South Carolina. And you also have a pass rusher in BJ Ojular and Phillip Webb, who we will get to in just a moment. And how about this? Jermaine Burton goes to Georgia. Did he not watch the SEC championship game in the two offenses? The four-star receiver out of California was committed to LSU for the longest. The coaches recruited him all the way up to the very last second, but Burton has a change of heart, and he will be going to Athens, as will former four-star LSU commit corner Major Burns. He's also signed with Georgia. And, this is a huge loss for a team that you will potentially play in the SEC championship game for years to come. Marcus Dumervil, big pickup for LSU. I mean, huge. He signs at a St. Thomas High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This was probably the biggest need today for LSU. They did have two other offensive line players that signed today, but they were both 3 stars. This is a 4-star offensive tackle that will hopefully be the next Tyron Black or Andrew Whitworth or Austin Deculus. I think this is huge because his teammate is another one of those 3-star offensive linemen, Marlon Martinez. And remember this, when you're talking about high schools that put out NFL prospects, St. Thomas Aquinas is the place to go. Nick and Joey Bosa, Geno Atkins, James White, the list goes on and on. In fact, over 30 players have gone to the NFL from this high school, and Dumervil could be the next one in line. Now on to my favorite news of the day. LSU, big position of need. Phillip Webb, a pass rushing defensive end that has Kayshon all over him. I'm telling you, they're practically the same players. 6'4", 220 pounds. Dave Aranda, not known for his recruiting, he was hard after getting Phillip Webb to Baton Rouge. Listen, you need pass rushers to win in the SEC. It's a passing league, and once Kayshon leaves, you got to find someone that can get off the edge and make plays, and Phillip Webb is that guy. Also, LSU has BJ Ojular, who's going to be a pretty good prospect. So, Phillip Webb, I'm not even sure if he's just going to be an edge player. I can easily see him being an outside linebacker, a traditional one that can also drop back into coverage. I think Phillip Webb is going to be a star. He was uncommitted like Dumervil heading into today, and of course, LSU lands him. And this was big, especially after the Jordan Burch news that we learned today. So, if you love me and you love all our LSU breakdowns, would you like to see more LSU content with Chat Sports? Give me a Go Tigers in the comments section. Give me a 1 for yes. And if you're one of those people that don't want LSU videos, just go somewhere else, okay? So type Y for yes or 1 for yes, but more importantly, give me a Go Tigers and show Chat Sports you are the #1 fan base for the #1 team in all of college football. Okay? Let's go to Tom. He's got some special holiday deals for you.
Thank you, Carter. Tom down here to break down all of the LSU gear deals we found for you guys. The first one, chatsports.com/LSU1. It's that awesome quarter zip jacket you see on your screen. It's 45% off. One of the best LSU gear deals out there right now. That's chatsports.com/LSU1. Maybe you don't need something for your upper body. How about some lower body gear? How about these sweatpants? chatsports.com/LSU2. Those are also 45% off. Again, that's chatsports.com/LSU2. If neither of those strikes your fancy, there's all kind of gear on sale right now. I'm talking shirts, polos, hoodies, shoes, heck, even some LSU jerseys. So head over chatsports.com/LSU sale. And don't worry, we'll get those links in the description and the comments for you guys too.
Thanks again, Tom. And let's take a quick look at the top 5 class according to the 247 composite. And for those that don't know, the composite rankings are basically the ESPN, the Rivals, and all the other recruiting services that are out there. 247, they mash them all together. And this is the overall most consistent way people like to look at recruiting classes. And Clemson is at #1. Alabama following them, and then Ohio State, which had a huge day. They picked up that pro-style quarterback from California. And as you can tell, LSU hanging on in the top 5. And, you know, let's just take a look at LSU's recruiting rankings over the past 5 years. Now, last year they finished with the #5 class. In 2018, a weird #15 class. But 2017, a 7. 2016, a 2. That was the Leonard Fournette year. And then in 2015, another #5. So this is why that's huge. National champions normally aggregate a top 5 recruiting class. If you look at the last 4 years, LSU has been a top 5 class, and they will likely stay the same after this year. Do you want to subscribe and see more LSU content? How about Dallas Cowboys, all the greatest sports teams in the world? All you have to do is subscribe to Chat Sports, and you'll never miss a video. And something else, I answer every single comment, okay? Comment below, give me a Go Tigers, let me know where you're from, and guess what? We're going to do something even more special for you right now. Not only if you subscribe, we're also going to try and hook you up with some money. All you have to do is predict the score. You might get an ad break right now, but don't worry. We want to hook you up with some money, all right? $25 to the first person that correctly predicts the LSU versus Oklahoma score. Remember, the Sooners, they're going to have a few players suspended. I don't know if you've seen that news yet. So that spread is probably going to even widen as we move closer to the college football playoff semifinal, the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Give me your score prediction below right now, okay? You want to win this money, right? Now, quickly, let's run through each and every player. Obviously, we're starting off with the 2 5-stars. Arik Gilbert and Elias Ricks, the 5-star tight end and 5-star corner. You can flip the two. I think they're both elite players. They'll both be All-Americans. I like Ricks slightly better than Gilbert, but it doesn't matter. They're both going to be superstar studs for the Tigers. Following that, you got to go to the kid from New Iberia, Louisiana. I love him. I love the name too. Kayshon Boutte. Ooh, where am I? New Iberia, Louisiana. This is the highest ranked player in Louisiana, and I think he's going to be a difference maker for the Tigers. Obviously, Phillip Webb, who we mentioned a little bit earlier, and Jaquelin Roy from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the number 1 ranked defensive player in the state of Louisiana, went to U High. Yes, he's used to playing football on LSU's campus. That's how great University High School players are. He decides to stay really local and go with the Tigers. Then we have 4-star linebacker Antoine Sampah. How about you pair him up with 4-star safety Jordan Toles? I love this kid out of Maryland. I love Sampah as well, another out-of-state prospect who early on in the process was actually a 5-star level player. I think both these guys will be solid special teamers in year 1. As we mentioned earlier, the biggest get of the day at a huge position of need, Marcus Dumervil. LSU had no 4-star offensive lineman. Dumervil changed that today. And then BJ Ojular, who I've mentioned a few times. A little slender now. I think Tommy Moffitt and that LSU strength cast is going to bulk him up a little bit. He's going to be a big-time edge rushing player for LSU. Pair him up with Webb down the road. Ooh! That LSU pass rush in Dave Aranda's system is going to be fantastic. Something I love about BJ Ojular's tape, he's really good at stunting to the inside. That is something that Dave Aranda does a lot of, and BJ Ojular will certainly fit into that role. Now, if you're a hardcore LSU fan or a hardcore sports fan or a fan of stand-up comedy, I do that too. Follow me on social media, @CarterThePower. That's on Twitter. If you're a Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, @CarterThePower is where you can find me. Let's connect. I answer all messages. That is a guarantee with Chat Sports. And also, give us a follow @ChatSports on Twitter. Moving on to 4-star linebacker Josh White. I love him out of Houston, Texas. Jacobian Guillory, a 4-star defensive tackle who can squat over 700 pounds. What's up with that? What's in the water in Alexandria, Louisiana? That is an 18-year-old kid that can squat over 700 pounds? Really? Really? That just blows my freaking mind, honestly. On to 4-star quarterback Max Johnson, the son of Super Bowl winning quarterback Brad Johnson. Obviously, the highest ranked LSU quarterback. He signed today. One thing I like about him, he's tall. He can see over offensive linemen. He did play in a very heavy pro-style system in Georgia, so there's going to be a transition phase for a left-hander who's not the fastest, but he also rushed 7 TDs this year. This next guy is interesting. He is committed to LSU, Lorando Johnson, but he did not sign. I do think he will explore some other options coming up in the next few months. 4-star defensive tackle Eric Taylor and 4-star wide receiver Coy Moore. Now, Coy Moore is an interesting prospect. Remember, the last time LSU brought in a 4-star wide receiver from Rummel High School in New Orleans, Louisiana, They got a Biletnikoff winner for the best wide receiver in college football. That was obviously this year with Jamar Chase. I don't think Coy Moore is going to be Jamar Chase, but when you actually watch Moore's tape, it is near identical to what Jordan Jefferson does as a wide receiver. I love Coy Moore. Hopefully he ends up being a Justin Jefferson type of producer for LSU. Now, I want your honest comments below. All right, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't need groupthink. Which 2020 recruit will make the biggest impact next season? Okay? In 2020, we're not talking about who you think is going to end up being the best player. We're talking about next year. Now, as I said in the last video, Elias Ricks is my guy. I think he's a top 5 player in the country. I think he's underrated. I think he's that good. I think he's not quite Derek Stingley level, but he will be at a high level next year. And I think he starts next year, first year for LSU. They call him Mr. Pick 6 for a reason. But I'm telling you, Phillip Webb, if you go watch his tape, and one thing about Dave Aranda, he likes to have guys that can play multiple positions. And Phillip Webb can do that. I can easily see him rushing even from the inside. He reminds me a lot of Marcel Brooks, currently a true freshman edge rusher for LSU. So I would go Elias Ricks 1, and then number 2, I would say Phillip Webb, and then after that, maybe Arik Gilbert. I do think it's going to take some time for Gilbert to learn a very complex offense at LSU. But still, I would go Ricks, Webb, and then Gilbert. That's my top 3 for next year. I do think it's going to end up being Ricks having the best career, then Ricks, Gilbert having the best career, then Ricks, then Webb. All right, moving on to the 3 stars. Cole Taylor, a young kid out of Colorado. He will likely be a blocking tight end in this offense. Then we have 3-star offensive lineman Marlon Martinez, obviously a high school teammate of Dumervil's. Xavier Hill, a 3-star offensive lineman that LSU picked up in November, really late in the process. We're happy to see him go into Baton Rouge. We haven't talked about this kid yet. Out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana, 3-star, 6'5", TJ Finley. This kid has a rocket arm, low completion percentage this year, but I think that'll be fixed. LSU is really high on him. He had a late visit from Steve Ensminger at Orgeron. He's all on board with the Tigers. And the only JUCO player, Ali Gay, a 3-star edge player. Hopefully he can be an edge rusher right off the bat next year for LSU. And then Cameron Johnson, a 3-star defensive tackle out of North Louisiana. That is Haynesville, Louisiana. But he is not signing early, okay? Now, let's go through a few news and notes. 4-star edge Damon Clowney has reopened his recruitment. Okay, he did not sign. Is there a potential that Clowney, who has been committed to LSU for a long time, goes back to LSU? Yes, his teammate, St. Francis Academy High School out of Baltimore, Jordan Toles, signed with LSU. So Jordan Toles, who's expected to be a box safety for LSU, could Clowney decide to join his teammate in Baton Rouge? That is not out of the realm of possibility. Also, what everyone's waiting on as far as LSU is concerned, 5-star running back Zachary Evans. I've heard Texas A&M's in the lead and Alabama's in the lead. What about LSU? Ed Orgeron made a visit to him in Houston. They expect him to sign early. If he does sign early, it's got to happen this week. But he still expects to make his announcement at the Under Armour All-American game in January, which once again opens up the possibility with him waiting until February to actually sign. So, more than likely, even if he does sign this week, we're likely to not know about it. I'm wanting to know if this running back will come to LSU, because guess what? LSU has 0 running backs in this class. Yes, Ashad Clayton, the 4-star out of New Orleans, who's been killing it. He's had injury issues, but he had one of the best playoff runs in Louisiana. He is currently committed to Colorado. What can happen? Anything can happen, really. But no running backs in a recruiting class. That's kind of tough. So once again, we want to hook you up with some money. Give me your LSU and Oklahoma score predictions below. The first correct score gets $25 via Venmo from yours truly. Once again, let's connect on social media at Chat Sports and at Carter the Power. Keep up with the latest in recruiting. Next week, we're going to have a college football playoff preview. So show Chat Sports that you are the #1 fan base of the #1 team in college football. Comment below, Go Tigers, and let's connect on all social media. Boom. Woo! Edo, you're the man, baby.